To add a delay step in your Brevo automation, open the workflow you're working on. Click the plus icon between the actions where you want the pause to happen. Choose time delay. Type how long you want the wait to be, like 15 minutes, 2 hours, or 1 day, and hit save. That's it. Your contact will now wait at that point before moving on to the next email or update. If you just needed the quick answer, you've got it. Stick around because I'll walk through the whole thing step by step, right from the Brevo dashboard, and I'll throw in the exact settings I tweak, a few things that tripped me up early on, and how to avoid making your sequences feel rushed or robotic. First, sign into your Brevo account and make sure you're in the right one. I've got a couple of workspace profiles and I've definitely made changes to the wrong automation before, so double check the account name up in the top right. Once the dashboard loads, look at the left sidebar. You'll see automations right there, usually between contacts and campaigns. Click it and you'll land on a page that lists all your active and draft workflows. This is where I like to keep things tidy. I name my automations with a clear prefix like Welcome Series 1H Delay, so I can scan down the list and immediately see the structure. It saves so much headache later. Now find the automation you want to edit and click its name or the little pencil icon. The workflow builder opens up, showing your sequence of steps in a horizontal or vertical flow. Depends on when you built it. Brevo updated the builder not long ago, but the logic is the same. You'll see rounded blocks for triggers and actions, with tiny plus buttons sitting on the lines between them. That's where the magic happens. The plus button might look small, but it's your gateway to inserting anything, not just a delay, conditions, emails, SMS, you name it. Hover over it, click, and a menu pops out. Choose time delay from the list. When you select it, Brevo adds a delay step right into that spot. It'll probably default to 1 minute. Don't just leave it like that. Click on the delay block to open its settings panel, because that's where you dial in the actual pause duration. You'll see a field where you type a number and then the unit. Type 30M for 30 minutes, 2H for 2 hours, 3 days for 3 days. You get the idea. If you're like me and you forget the abbreviations, Brevo shows them right next to the field. M for minutes, H for hours, D for days. A mistake I made once. I typed 1 inch and assumed it was 1 hour, but it was actually 1 minute because the default unit was minutes. My follow-up email blasted out before the welcome email had even finished delivering. Not ideal. So now I always type the letter, even for hours, no guessing. Now, why would you use a delay in the first place? It's not just about spacing, it's about making your customer journey feel human. Imagine signing up for a newsletter and getting hit with 3 emails in the same minute. That's spam territory. A delay of even 15 minutes between a double opt-in request and a welcome offer lets the first email land, get opened, maybe get a reply. In abandoned cart sequences, I've tested everything from 30 minutes to 24 hours. In my experience, a 1-hour delay strikes the best balance. The cart is still fresh in their mind, but they're not still actively on the site feeling tracked. But if you're selling a high consideration item, I'd push that to 4 hours. Give them time to think. The key is you're not guessing. You're curating the pace of the conversation. There's also a practical side. Brevo's sending engine needs a few seconds sometimes to process a new contact's attributes before the next step can use them. I learned the hard way that if you have a condition that checks a custom field right after a sign-up trigger, it might read empty because the field hasn't synced. A 2-minute delay can fix that. It's a weird little edge case, but now you know. When you're setting the delay, think about the step that comes right after it. Are you postponing a follow-up email? Then insert the delay before that email action, not after. I've seen people put the delay after the email, which just pauses the entire sequence for no reason, delaying the next email even further. So always ask, what action am I holding back? That's where the delay belongs. One of my favorite tricks is to name the delay step descriptively. Click the 3 dots or the settings gear on the delay block and rename it to something like wait 2H for open window or pause before shipping promo. That way, when you're scanning the workflow weeks later, you instantly know why that pause is there. It also helps if someone else on your team needs to understand or modify the automation. It's a small habit that makes a big difference. After you've typed the right wait time and maybe a name, hit save. The workflow updates immediately. But here's the golden rule. Never activate it straight away without testing. Brevo has a neat feature. You can simulate the automation by adding a test contact or using the test button in the upper right. I run a test contact through the entire flow every single time I add or adjust a delay. Watch the contact's timeline to see if they exit the delay at the expected time. Sometimes I'll set a short delay of 2 minutes just to speed test, then adjust to the real duration before going live. That little sanity check has caught misconfigured times more often than I'd like to admit. Now, a word about realistic wait times. For a welcome sequence, I typically do immediate email, then a 1-hour delay, then a second email with the key resource. For re-engagement sequences, I space emails by 3 to 5 days, because you're gently nudging someone who's gone quiet. A too short delay feels pushy, a too long delay and they might forget who you are. There's no universal perfect number, but I base it on how my audience actually interacts. I'll check the analytics. If open rates drop after a certain delay, I shorten it. If unsubscribes spike, I lengthen it. The delay step is not a set it and forget it thing. It's a lever you keep adjusting. One more thing. If you ever need to remove the delay, just click the step and hit the trash icon. That won't break the rest of the automation. Brevo just connects the preceding and following steps, so don't be afraid to experiment. Duplicate a high-performing workflow, tweak the delays, and a /B test against the original. I've seen a simple delay adjustment lift click rates by 20%, just by giving people room to breathe. So that's the full picture. You now know how to add a delay step in Brevo automation, where to place it, what times to consider, and why testing and naming matter. Whether you're building your first welcome series or refining a complex multi-step nurture track, those pauses turn a robotic blast into a genuine conversation. Revisit your automations, drop in delays where they make sense, and watch your engagement climb. If you ever need to revisit the steps, save this video or bookmark it. I'll see you in the next one.